All right, this is one of those games where we just need to get right into it and say, holy smokes, was that nice. Does that feel good, huh? That feels good from a Bruins perspective that they put a beating on a team, and not an ass whooping, but just a thorough beating on a team that they hadn't beat yet this year. As we welcome you into Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor, the morning after the Bruins win 4-1 over the New York Islanders, a team that had gone 5-0 against the Bruins. The Bruins had picked up 2 points and gone 0-3-2 in those 5 games. But it didn't feel good for the most part, those 5 games. 2 decent games, 2 not that good, and 1 all right. So Razor, feels good. It feels like, these teams could play in the playoffs. You needed to find a way, not just to win, but to win the right way. It wasn't a lucky game. It was a damn good game from the Bruins.
Yeah, they crushed them. And it's been an up and down year. This group has made a bit of a statement tonight. In anyone who wanted to bring up, well, they haven't beat the Islanders, how are they going to get through the playoffs? They beat Washington. They beat the Islanders now. They beat Pittsburgh. So, all right, let's play 7 games against each other.
So they came out and they just made a first shift impact right away, starting the 4th line. I mean, that's what Bruce Cassidy, if he had his druthers, would do regularly. It's what Barry Trotz likes to do, and hence that's why he starts the Casey Cizikas line regularly. Bruce matched that with the Curtis Lazar, Chris Wagner, and Sean Kuraly line. And damn, the Bruins' 4th line, their newly minted 4th line, really, I don't want to say gave them a lesson. I'm not going to get crazy. But they dominated that opening shift. It all started with a Connor Clifton step up in the neutral zone to get the puck in, and away they went.
Yeah, do we look back at Curtis Lazar being just as important as any other deal that they've made? And Mike Reilly looks unbelievable. Taylor Hall scored a goal that there's only one other guy on the Bruins roster that can score. Mm-hmm. Those look great. Curtis Lazar shores up 4th line. And we've talked about 4th line and young guys having opportunities. Now the 4th line is solidified.
Mm-hmm. It feels that way, right?
Wagner has got the message. Kuraly is healthy. Kuraly is skating. And Lazar just shores all of that up. So all of a sudden you can start the 4th line in a game, which they haven't been able to do for the last 45 games. That changes everything for this group. And you could see that tonight against a team that they've struggled with, the depth that changes things. That's worth a goal or worth 3/4 of a goal or half a goal, whatever it is that the analytics say it is. That's what the difference is, and you can tell almost immediately.
I'm almost at the point, and I know it's just 2 games, bud. I get it. I'm not ready to, plan the parade by any stretch. I'm not like a Toronto fan. By the way, Toronto's lost 3 in a row now as they lost Thursday night. So the parade route has been Detour City right now.
Oh, yeah. Where's Fred? Now it's where's Freddie?
Right.
Where's Freddie now all of a sudden? No. I've been on the radio. Where's Freddie?
But, I look at these guys. I look at this Bruins team, and I, as I say, I don't want to get crazier, but I look at them and I say, okay, it feels like a team. It's closer to a full team right now. And that's, to me, is the most important. I mean, they have a long way to go. They do. It's still a long way to go. But at least we're identifying something. And by the way, Razor, I'll tell you what, man. I mean, assuming it worked out, I would put that 4th line out there almost every time after the Bruins scored a goal, and I would say, line up, get it in there for 20 more seconds again, and then get off. That's the way I look at them right now.
Well, and that's what they did on the playoff run. That's what they did. That's how they got to the Stanley Cup Finals, because that's exactly how they ran the bench. They put those guys out after every goal, whether it was a goal against or a goal for. Go change the momentum, and then we'll feed off of that. Whether we put the third, they have so many options when that line is going. And you talk about the 12 minutes, 14 minutes, where that sweet spot is, but if you can have the confidence of putting those three guys in after any goal, after any penalty kill, after any power play, and change momentum, that allows you to then throw whatever of the other three lines you want, rather than having to go back to the well with Bergeron and Marchand on a consistent basis and putting them in tougher spots. It frees them up. It allows them to end up in good situations. So it's massive. And I mean, the full lineup, they don't even have Carlo and Grizzly,
and Miller,
two of their top
and
40,
Miller.
And we'll get to that, and Miller. So 3 of their top 60. Let's just put them that, because Reilly's actually, really inserted himself in 2 games, and I'm sure we'll get to it. But also, let's not discredit what a number 1 goalie looks, feels, does for a team. And I know that we've had a lot of excitement over the younger guys the last 10 days, but the reality is when you have one of the best in the world back there, it changes the complexion of the team and the game and the way
All right,
they
so
play.
what did you like most about the game? Give me your couch analysis. What did you like most?
So it's easier on the couch, right? It's easier to, and now that I'm doing this and I've had 5 games in a row in the studio where you're trying to look for things to you know what I love the best is the second power play unit.
Okay.
I'm sitting there watching tonight thinking they haven't been able to roll a second power play unit out.
Yep.
And the first units had to play 135, 140 every. Now with Taylor Hall, they have a second power play unit. And I know they bumped Hall up on the first unit, but in that 4-minute where you can go with Krejci, Hall, DeBrusk, Ritchie,
One of the 2, yeah.
Grizzlick's not there, McAvoy,
yeah.
right? So that creates secondary scoring when you can actually have an efficient unit on the second half of that 4-minute power play, which they've struggled with at times because they get tired and they don't make plays, or you get to take them off a minute and 10 in and give the other unit 50 seconds to do something with it. So that was my takeaway tonight. It was a random one. It just kind of hit me late in the first period.
I don't have my breakdown as to how many shots the first unit had and the second unit had, but to me, what matters most is that the second unit had the goal.
How many times has the second unit had the goal this year? And yes, I don't know the numbers either, but the eye test was they had possession on that second. It wasn't off a rush where it was a broken play. They worked it around and made that accessible.
So they had 8 power play shots in the game. I'll say the second unit probably had 3 of them, if I'm guessing right. But I don't know. I mean, there was a decent amount of power play time, obviously, with the double minor. But I, for a while, again, wasn't digging that first unit. Wasn't digging what they were doing out there. And, we were talking about, oh, no, don't let this come back and bite you in the ass. Come on, you got to score at least 1 here. You've got to. Too much power play time. And I thought that, Craig Smith, it was a great look getting that pass in the middle of the ice from Krejci, just that soft spot where he opened up to, and then he one-timed it, and a good screen in front by Ritchie, and there was an Islander defenseman who had to front Ritchie or stand near Ritchie as well. But I don't think Craig Smith got everything on the shot that he wanted. I don't think he whiffed it, but he didn't make full contact either.
No, he certainly wasn't trying to he was trying to go cheddar. He was trying to go top shelf. And yeah, he kind of missed it, but that's where we talked about last game on the broadcast. Craig Smith's on a heater. He's feeling it now. That's what happens when you work through slumps, you work through struggles, you keep working, and then you start getting a couple of those go your way. I bet he could go back and tell you 5 or 6 shots that he absolutely labeled that were going in that hit a knob or hit a body or missed the net, whatever it was, and then he's going to laugh about that one. And that's the hockey gods, that's the NHL gods, that's the law of averages, and it paid off. But again, that unit that looked good, that looked right. That wasn't just a random, like to your point, McAvoy got it at the top. Hall got it to McAvoy up top, McAvoy to Krejci, little fake backhand to the slot. That's a real power play.
The fake backhand by Krejci.
That was sick. And he's just waiting for Clutterbuck to commit. And as soon as he does, then he goes to Smith. It was...
How do you teach that? How do you teach that fake backhand?
It's hockey sense.
That I see that and I start, my mind, I'm always thinking about with, coaching the kids and everything. How do you teach that right there? That instinctive thing. Give them a little fake like that. I don't know if you can.
Well, no, I don't think you can. What Krejci's doing that whole time is waiting to see what his stick does.
Right.
If Clutterbuck doesn't put his stick behind him, then he goes back to the point. And if he keeps it to the middle, he goes back to the point, and then McAvoy has an opportunity. It's patience, confidence, understanding, all those. It's not a physical skill. It's just a matter of, I'm going to hold this puck until you commit.
I guarantee you, David's heart rate. I guarantee you, when he got that puck there, was at about 62. And he's like, okay,
sure.
like a standing heart rate. I'm just going to make a play here.
No, it's yeah, and you know what? If David's at a point, and David's always been at a point where, all right, Cal, Clutterbuck, if you don't want to put your stick back there, I'll just hold on to it and keep coming down the wing then. Or I'll just turn, I have other options, but I'm going to wait for you to make the mistake.
So fans, what we're talking about, if you didn't pick up on it, and some of them probably did, Razor, they probably did, but go back and watch this goal and watch when Krejci gets the puck from McAvoy on the right side, and it's just a subtle fake move where he freezes Clutterbuck, and then it opens up enough space and therefore time to get the puck to Craig Smith. And the Islanders are a very aggressive penalty kill team, but they're up top aggressive, and they put 3 guys up top. If we had the capabilities, if we were a real podcast and a video cast, we'd have these telestration capabilities, right?
Yeah, but if we had those, we'd be here for 4 hours every night. So
right, when 3.5 of me just blah blah blah. Right, I know. I would just be bullshitting my way through it, but
look at this.
Up.
Stop it right there, Howie Meeker.
Exactly.
Stop it right
Stop
there.
It right there. But no, they're very aggressive up top. So you have to move the puck from not just top to low, although that isn't a bad thing, but to an area to where eventually, if you move it past those top guys, your middle guys are going to be open. They're going to be, and that bumper spot was open. So go and watch it if you didn't pick up on it at first. It's just a gorgeous, subtle little play. Let's go through a few guys in this game. Mike Reilly, excellent. We named him the star of the game on Nesson. There was a couple of other guys. If you look at the numbers, Marchand with 2 goals, he was good, really good. Bergeron was good. Craig Smith was good again. There's a lot of guys you can name the star. You can make an argument to, name Tuukka the star. I didn't think he had as many chances, though. But still, 300 wins, etc. We just thought that Mike Reilly impacted the game from the first shift as well, with how quickly he not only got through pucks, but there's a certain cadence to when he moves it and when he doesn't, and how he, from a punch shot to a half slapper. I thought he had his flow going with his stride, and I just thought in his 23-plus minutes, he was really good. I mean, really damn good in this game.
He was. He fits. And again, it's 2 games, so it's so hard
right.
to, it's like you don't want to give an A+ to Don Sweeney, but it seems as though he's exactly what this core needed on the back end. It fit the exact need of a left-handed shot who can get the puck through, who is somewhat smooth, who can make a pass, who it just kind of fits, and it'll be really. And after 2 games, it has,
and that's all we know.
Obviously, he's going to have a bad game. He's going to have it, but the reality is we haven't seen pucks through, and it was becoming a frustration for the coaching staff. We heard it in their press conferences, reading between the lines. We watched it. It didn't pass our eye test in how many. the NHL is all about getting pucks in front of the net and creating rebounds and block shots and tips off the back like Brad Marchand's tonight. Those are NHL goals nowadays. Taylor Hall's is an anomaly. That's not an NHL goal. The NHL goal is Brad Marchand's off the back nowadays, and you need guys who can sift it through. And Mike Reilly certainly can do that. And it might even get better now that he's in a situation where he's got guys going to the net, where he's got a Charlie McAvoy, where he's got, wait till Grizzly gets back. I mean, wait till Carlo gets back. You can imagine how much more space he gets, and that's encouraging.
I hope so. I mean, look, we only know our 2 games that we've seen him, and his body of work this year has been very good with Ottawa. Watching him, and again, knowing people that watch him even more thoroughly than we did, they said how eventually he became one of their best players. So let's just hope he continues to ascend, given the people around him and the style that they're able to play and the importance of the games. But as you said, it's just 2 games. He's going to have a bad one here or there. Does it translate to being great come playoff time? Well, who the hell knows? We'll find out in a little bit. But for now, it's excellent. I thought Connor Clifton was very good in this game, too. Again, he pinched neutral zone. On the first shift, he had 3 reads. Neutral zone, blue line, and then going down the wall, like literally climbing the ladder, that were excellent and instrumental in getting that first shift going. And really important, imperative at keeping pucks alive. And he had a couple of hits, actually 4 hits in the game, 4 shots on goal. Very happy with what Connor Clifton brought in this game. And I, going into this game, quite honestly, I was surprised that I kind of thought that they'd play Jared Tenorti again, Razor. I did, and they put Zaboral back in. And Jakob only played 13 and a half minutes, but you know what? He was all right. That third pair didn't play a lot. Camphor played a little over 11 minutes, Zaboral 13 and a half. But they were all right with what they did, at least my take.
Yeah, and again, you need guys skate. We talk. You need to be able to skate against this Islanders team on the forecheck. You need guys who can move the puck quickly. So that makes a little bit of sense to check in. And what makes sense why their minutes were so low is because the Bruins had a 2-0 lead. So then you're going to rely on defense. You don't need to. You're not as concerned about moving that puck and having an offensive flair on the back end. You're just going to grind away at 2-0 and kind of hang on. So that explains those minutes, I believe. Yeah, I think, listen, Clifton fits in really well when he has to do less, and that comes down to more the forwards. Those I saw you guys talking about those pinches in on the first intermission. That's the fourth lines out there. They're responsible. They have someone being third man high who can fill in. He recognizes that it's not a... Connor gets in trouble when he pinches and does that play when there's 3 guys down low. And he doesn't always recognize it. He just gets excited and he doesn't necessarily get the read. But when he's on the ice with 3 guys who do read him, that'll be the high guy, then that play works really well. And that's, to your point of the fourth line, that's what they offered tonight, I think.
What I like too in the D, the balance, McAvoy 23-41, Mike Reilly 23-12, Connor Clifton 20-20. And then, as I said, you had 11 minutes for Camphor. You had a little over 13 minutes for Zaboral. And who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting one other defenseman. Lausanne, 20 minutes, 2013. Not bad. So really good balance, especially with back-to-back, given that Friday night, tonight they're gonna play again. And I also thought the balanced minutes up front were excellent too. I mean, Bergeron he went 17 minutes. Krejci only played 14 minutes, 15.
And that's because the fourth line's good. Right. The fourth line's really good. Then that spells 2-3 minutes here and there for everybody else, 5 on.
What do we think of Taylor Hall? I thought he was okay in the first. Again, just okay. And then he started to really skate. And not just the goal. I just thought, even though the Bruins in the second weren't great. What a first period, by the way. 23 shots. Holy smokes.
Smoked.
My buddy, Benny Boma, he was telling me the most since 1995, I believe. I believe that's what it was. like crazy. Sandy Moger in that game. They played Buffalo in that game. He was telling me. Sandy Moger.
It's a long time
Yeah, it was
ago.
a long time ago. Sandy Moger, he said, in the game where they had 23 shots in a period, had 7 in that game total overall. Sandy Moger actually played.
And you know why that doesn't count? You know why that doesn't count? Because it was in the old Garden, where basically the blue line was a hash mark. So they had 98 shots every game in the old Garden.
Okay.
Right? Ray Bork probably had, he was right behind Sandy Moger for sure.
Sandy the Beast Moger. Man, he was a big man. I remember, Lake State guy. I remember him well here. So, yeah, here. Just April 19th, 95. 25 shots. 23 shots on goal. But what a first period. But I thought as the game went on, I thought Hall, getting back to him, I just thought he got revved up. Like his legs got driving. He got going. Culminating in the goal, which was a beautiful pass from Pasternak just inside the Bruins' blue line. After the puck bounced to him, and Pelech, the defenseman for the Islanders, just couldn't, corral or couldn't decipher exactly because Hall just took off. I mean, accelerated. And loved the puck protection, loved the right knee to the inside, and then the quick shot. I was a little surprised Varlamov went with the lightsaber poke check, but I think he thought that Hall was going to try and cut in.
That's exactly what you thought. That's exactly, and Hall had his head up. Varlamov thought he was going to catch him cutting to the middle with that stick, and you can see as Hall gets to the hash marks, he's about to cut in, and then he recognizes that Varlamov stick, so then he takes that one step back out to the outside and goes 5-hole. Smart play by Hall. It's subtle, and you could watch that again because I watched it a few times because I couldn't. There was a bad angle. I couldn't recognize why Varlamov, but then I assumed. But you can see where Hall drives, like you just said, and then he catches it right at the last second because he's got that left-handed shot. It's easy for him to take one step back to the outside, go 5-hole. Again, him and David Pasternak are the only 2 guys on the team that can score that goal. With their speed, with their range. Marchand scores different goals. Bergeron scores. They score differently than that. And I think that's a little piece of how important he could be. And again, he's not going to be able to do that every playoff game. Don't get me wrong. But it just, he is improved the skill on the front 6 in a major way with plays like that.
Nice to see him.
And he only has to do it once a week. But that changes the game. Again, they didn't have that against the Islanders the previous 5 games. They didn't have that guy to break that out. And he you go up 3-1. That's different than 2-1 and hanging on. Because they've had that 2-1, and they've lost in overtime.
Yeah, that goal is huge. Right?
So that's huge. Really is.
For the...
It's positive.
Yeah. So, and I love seeing him Selly. It was true, genuine.
Yeah, that meant a lot
to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot to the team. His confidence. Like I was thinking about this before the game, and I know we've talked about it a little bit too. But this rebuilding his confidence is not going to be a 1-week thing. It was going to feel like he's going to feel great about himself right now, and I think it will help put him in a better spot. But he's got to, you were on the couch tonight, right? He needs a little hockey couch time, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like a little getting out there, talking about it, making sure that he understands that he's still a damn good player when he plays the right way. He does have some habits that he'll have to change a little bit with the Bruins, but that's normal. I mean, you're coming to a much better team in a much different situation.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's more of and I know exactly what you're saying because I thought that tonight as well watching. But that's more of a Bruins habit thing. That could be every player, any player, not necessarily a former MVP bad habit guy or bad reputation guy bad habit. That's just everybody coming to the Bruins. I just quickly, his confidence won't take as long to rebuild as most guys. He only needs a couple of those goals. Okay. And he's on this team. He's in the black and gold. He's where he wants to be. He starts liking Boston. His wife, girlfriend, that stuff. I don't think it's going to take too much. I really don't. I think that goal goes a long way for that confidence.
I hope so.
He's won 2 games. listen, knowing that he's 2-0 now for the Bruins. He hasn't won very many games this year. That starts to feel good.
Yeah. Anders Bjork did score before him, though, in the same game, the same night. Good for Anders. Good for him. I'm thrilled for the kid.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of somebody who needed to change his habits a little bit, 2 games in a row now, no points, but I would say that Jake DeBrusk had 2 very good games in a row. He had 5 shots on goal in this game. He's hustling his ass off. I'm noticing him all the time. I have no issue right now. I love that. I'm a believer in that kid. I am. And I liked what he did again. I did. I you know, like I'm.
Yeah, I like Coyle. I like that line. Coyle was the same. Coyle's the same way for me.
Okay.
You know, not a lot. They have been, their role's been defined now. They are the third line. That's not changing now. They are where they are. And yeah, they might get a stint here and there, but the reality is, I think these are the lines. This is the lineup day one of playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
Day one of Stanley Cup playoffs. These are the 4 lines. So figure it out. No more messing around. No more guys in and out of the lineup. No more young guy. You guys are the third line. You guys are going to get even better matchups than what you were going to get 4 days ago. So figure it out and go and play and use your skill.
Yeah. If Charlie Coyle can just start scoring. Now, you know, it's what, 20 games now. Is it 20 or 21? I'm not.
Oof.
Anyways.
That's a long time.
It is. So now, you know.
It's a long
time. Now you
time.
worry about his confidence a little bit, right? And he was never always the biggest shooter. But he did have four shots in the game on Thursday. So I'm hoping that he continues to. Let's touch on your Tuukka take. I'd say he was a hot cup of coffee. He wasn't lukewarm. He wasn't. And by the way, I got some grief about the cold brew thing because I don't know much.
Because a lot of people drink cold brew. That's
right, but
why.
I screwed up because cold brew, you can drink cold brew hot, right? It's cold coffee.
Yeah. Cold coffee. Okay, got it. Yeah, so I have iced espresso, so that's like sacrilegious. If I lived in Milan again, like when I lived in Milan, I drank real espresso, but here I can.
Did you hate it in Milan?
No, I loved it, but it's just different because you're in Italy. So
that is the most true thing that you've ever said on this show, because everything in Italy, you could give me a piece, like if you took a box, like a cardboard box in Italy, and told me that it was food, it would be phenomenal. It's just the best. So yes, it is. It is. It's sacrilegious.
It's better.
Every food item is better. Every piece of clothing is pretty much better, more fashionable in Italy too. The 3-hour lunches or 2-hour lunches, the naps, the wine.
Oh.
My God, I'm going down
the house wine. You don't even order a bottle of wine in any.
Don't.
You go to the most mom and pop restaurant downtown Milano. You get the house wine. It's the best thing.
Right.
You've ever
You go
had.
to a restaurant in America, and you're like, give me your best, and they give you a couple of $100 bottle. You go to Italy, they're like, okay, here you go.
Here's $6.
Oh,
my family makes it an hour and a half away.
I'm going down memory lane right now of a couple of trips there in a minute. So good. You've restored faith in me. So I understand, folks. Cold brew now. I'm an idiot. Cold brew is different than cold coffee. Cold coffee. I love my coffee, but when I'm at the end and there's a little bit, I'll sometimes slug down the cold coffee. But you drink it every day. You drink cold coffee every day, and that's just not right. So anyways, Tuukka was a hot cup. I wouldn't call him steaming. He wasn't, but he didn't have to be. But
he didn't have to be.
He looked good.
Didn't have to.
He looked good. He looked smooth.
I'll ask a question back to you. Now that we've had, and everyone watching, everyone listening, just think about what you saw tonight in the back end we saw 2 weeks of young kids who are figuring it out, who are enthusiastic and energetic, and they look great and they're cool and they're 22. But when Tuukka goes back there, it looks different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
And it's different. It just is the way the team plays, the way he carries himself, body language. That's what Jeremy Swayman's striving for. And it's going to be wonderful for Swayman's development to watch Tuukka up close for the next few weeks. It's going to go a long way because he's going to look at the position much different after watching a guy like that who's done it for so long play the way he does. And listen, Tuukka has his faults as well, but it looks for me that it's different.
Yeah, it's different. It's a different vibe, and it's a different view. It is. It just is. So Tuukka was very good. 23 shots he faced, 22 saves. The Island.
And he never touched his back.
No,
he never pulled up. He got through the whole thing. The net fell on his head. We had a couple guys driving the net. There's a couple plays where you're like, oh, that could have hurt your back. That could be the one that makes his back. But no issues.
I think they kept him out extra long.
I think
extra long to make sure that he's ready to go. Let's hope. So overall, a very good game. Bruins get their first win in 6 against the New York Islanders this year. The two teams play on Friday night again at TD Garden. Bruins will not have a morning skate. It wouldn't surprise me that the guys who didn't play in the game will skate. Could we see Kevin Miller? I don't know. I was reassured that it was not.
Wasn't the knee, right?
I was, reassured that it was not related to the surgery on his knee. But he woke up with something on Thursday. I don't know what that means. Does he play on Friday? Who the hell knows? Haven't heard anything about Grizz, except he was day-to-day. But he's not even, from what we're hearing, skating with the injured guys. Carlo, we knew, was still out for a little while longer. So I'm hoping next week we start hearing from something for Carlo. So it's a long way of saying, will there be any lineup changes for Friday night? Don't know yet. Trent Frederick has been practicing gone from the taxi squad back to the regular team. We'll see if he gets in the lineup. My guess is that he won't. Corrali, I thought he had a couple of turnovers.
They're not going to change those bottom two lines.
They shouldn't.
They want to get the third line going. They need them to get reps, and they need them to figure out how to go. They want the fourth line to keep going. You can't take one of the fourth line guys out now because they've been dealing with confidence all year and in and outs and the whole thing. So you got to let them roll too.
And I wasn't suggesting a guy like Corrali should come. I'm saying if you were going to take him out, that's the guy you would take out there. You need Sean for his left shot face-off ability and his penalty killing as well. So anyway,
and we'll see Swayman, right?
Swayman will start, and
I mean Tuukka's not going.
No way. Swayman will. Bruce already announced Swayman will start, and we'll just see if there's any changes on the back end. Does a Jared Tenorti get in? Can Kevin Miller come back? We'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, that's going to wrap it up for Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. The Bruins win 4-1 and get their first freaking win of the year against those mighty New York Islanders. Boy, you haven't said that in a long time. So enjoy it. Enjoy it, Bruins fans. Please, and if you have an opportunity, go to Italy, okay? If you get an opportunity.
Yeah.
When all this COVID crap is done, drink regular espresso like Razor did. Drink cappuccino at the right times, though. Do not
only in the morning
or late after 11.
Before 11 a.m.
Right? It's before 11 or after 11, right?
Yeah, you better be in a tourist spot if you ask for a cappuccino at 2 in the afternoon.
No, don't.
You better be in a tourist spot because otherwise they're gonna kick you out of there.
And drink the house wine, and try everything. I don't care if you don't like the sardines. Try them. I'm telling you.
No. They're wonderful.
Amazing.
It's not the.
So we will. Maybe one day Razor and I will do our guide of certain markets of places around.
100%.
All right, that does it for this Morning Brew. Everybody have a great day and enjoy your coffee, in particular the hot ones. See you later.